What's up guys? Welcome back for another video. So stoked on this one. We are finally going drifting again. 10 of us or so from Geelong have booked out the Winton skid pan for 2 days. We're going to be setting up cones, doing all sorts of layouts there. It's fairly big, so we should be able to do some pretty sick layouts. So S14, which is still unfinished, is going to have to get pushed aside because I'm going to get the S14 in here and start getting it ready. Even though it's been sitting for 6 months, of course it's been sitting not ready. Still got a decent sized list of things I need to do to it, so I've got a week to do it. We're going to get stuck right into it. First thing on the list, I'm going to be trying to make my own diff, sort of. The diff that's in the car it's got 4.3 gears, it's welded, and it has so much play in it, it is ridiculous, and it's only a matter of time before it blows to pieces. So I'm going to be whipping up a diff. I'll talk more on that soon. I've got a Mishimoto radiator I've got to put in. I'm going to delete the cannon off the back of the car and straight pipe it. I was going to do blasties, but I just don't have time to make them just yet, and I really just want to straight pipe it so it sounds real SR raspiness. I want that raspiness. Brap, brap. Yeah, so I'm pretty keen to see what it should sound like, so I'm just going to delete the cannon and have a bit of straight 3-inch coming out for now, just because I can. I got camber arms to put in and toe arms because I bent some at the last Reetsuri when I hit a wall following Jason into the wall. So I got some of them to put in, so the car's going to have to get in alignment. A few other bits and pieces I got to do to get it ready, service and all that, and we got to, of course, take it up the street for a bit of a test once I get some decent tyres on there, because I still haven't really drove it with tyres that aren't shagged, so that'll be sick. See what she's made of and make sure she's going to be good for the next track day. But yeah, first thing I'm going to do is my diff. So on the bench here, I got sitting 2 diffs. I've still got the 4.3 welded clapped out diff sitting in the S14. This is the original diff that came in the car. This is 3:7 ratio open diff that's been welded. It's got the 6-bolt axles, which mine has, and it's got the ABS front, so the longer front, which mine has. Now over here we have a diff out of a R33 Skyline. It's actually got a really tight LSD, so it's a shame because I'm just going to be welding it and throwing it in a track car. But issue being, this is non-ABS, so it's got a shorter front and it's got 5-bolt axles, which I do not have. So my plan is to rip the diff out of the S14, keep that as a spare I suppose, pull the gears out of this and whack it in here, and I got to open this up and check it's all good because it's been sitting for a long time and it's a bit stiff. So we'll see what she looks like. Hopefully pull the gears out of there and whack them into this and retain the 6-bolt stub axles and the longer front. Before we go any further, I'll just confirm this is a 411 diff, so I'll show you how to check the gear ratios. So basically you just put a line on the diff casing there and on the front part which spins. So 2 lines that line up there. Same on the axles, on the part that spins and the part that doesn't. And now all we do is we count how many times, how many times this one turns for 1 revolution of this one. So it should turn 4.1 times around for 1 turn of the axle. So here we go. There's 1 revolution, 2, 3, 4, so that's 4 there, and I've only got the tiniest bit more to move before I've done a full revolution on the axle, so easy to turn this on. There, right there, so the line's just off, so yeah, it's definitely a 411 diff, which is sick. Alrighty, scratch all that, looks like we're not building a diff today. This is where we're at. I got the center out and the stub axles out of the old one, but I watched the video and turns out there's a lot of pressing involved for getting this, is it the pinion I think it's called, that sucker out, which I can't do because I don't have a press. So you have to, what makes the gear ratio is how many teeth are on that sucker and on that sucker, and you sort of just swap them over. but you got to press like heaps of stuff out of here, and there's bearings and there's all sorts going on. So I'm going to smack this back together, and then I'm going to throw this one in the car. We're going to rock the 3.7s and just see how it goes. It's probably going to be pretty hectic, but we'll send it for the next event and then maybe get someone to swap these gears over for me. Or alright, got the diff back together, got the casing glued on, so I'll give that about an hour to tack up, and then I'll tighten it properly. I'll go uncover the S14 and I'll probably dump the coolant out of it so I can bring it in here and do the radiator and start looking at the rest of the list I got to do to it. Man, I've missed this thing. So keen to be doing some more work on it, getting it ready and going drifting. Old Faithful. I disconnected the radiator hoses. I couldn't get heaps of water out. So yeah, I'll just have to rip the radiator out to get the rest of the water out, so I'll leave it outside for when I do that. When I had to remount the headlights after breaking them and stuff, because they're going through a few headlights, I had to just make some makeshift tabs. But to get the radiator out, this center section of the core support bolts and comes off the radiator there, as you can see. This headlight mount is welded to this part that comes off. So what I'm going to have to do is chop it and then just plate it and bolt it so it's removable. So I'm going to do that so I can actually get the radiator out, and just unbolt the intercooler, hoses, fans, and then she should come straight up. So here's the old rad. She's pretty messed up. She got some leaks and all sorts. She's absolutely been through the walls, this thing. So here are me $40 Wreckers EL Falcon thermos that go hard as. I did a real shitty job of fitting it to this radiator because I did it while it was in the car. So I'm not going to be able to do a much better job on this one because I've already chopped this thing up. But yeah, I'm going to mount this onto that one now. Basically just with some cable ties, I think. And yeah, I'll see if I can do a better job, but I doubt it. Alright, I got the shroud on there half decent. I made a little bit of a ducting because the fans overhang the radiator a bit, so made some dodgy ducting to tie the fans and shroud in a bit more. Got her on there. Now I'll throw the new rad in. Shiny bits. Radiator's all in. Got that fresh Mishi. Everything's hooked up. Made some aluminium plates underneath to bolt the headlight mounts back on for the time being. Looking good. Probably chuck it up on the hoist now and change out the bent camber arm, toe arm, and change the other camber arm on the other side. We finally got her up on the hoist. It was a bit of a mission. Started doing skids trying to get on the blocks and stuff, but she's in the air, the rig. So I'll show you the damage. You can see this toe arm is pretty cactus, and that camber arm is possibly bent. I'm not sure. So I'm going to replace that one, and going to replace both the camber arms with my new ones, so we can hopefully dial out some camber. I think the new ones are definitely longer, which is sick. Alright, got all the arms in, ready for an alignment. We've got our beefy camber arms, our weak as toe arm. That thing is like very small. Our other beefy camber arm. They've done me well so far, but I do not like the look of this. This is China at its finest, so that's only going to stay in there for next weekend. I do have another one of them for a spare as well. I'm going to go ahead and start ripping out the diff now, drain the fluid out, unbolt the axles, 2 big bolts back here, 2 big bolts here, the drive shaft, and uncable tie the brake line from the old ABS sensor. And yeah.
Slap it straight on.
Tell you what, your second half.
You reckon you can hold this, Foxy?
40.
He's a big boy.
Go pick up that one on the bench.
40, 40.
There's 2 on the bench, go.
Get the crack out, Foster. Give us a deep flip. Oh, deep flip. What?
Yeah, Foxy.
Oh, he's in pain. He's in pain. Too bad muscle shirts don't automatically give you muscles.
You got desert joy. I probably won't be able to fucking. I'm not doing it by myself.
I'll give you a hand, mate.
I don't want you to drop it on me.
I want to drop it on me, mate.
I don't care about you, man. Don't drop it on me. I'm triple.
Yeah, this can kill me. I'm in thongs as well.
Alright, Jesse.
Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, where are you at?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, that's it, Foxy.
Rotate.
Just straight down, mate.
Yeah, give me a on the finger.
Oh, possibly.
Yeah.
I'll let him in. Crackers?
Yeah, cranker.
What's that?
You probably rattled the start of it though. Worked up a sweat on that.
You've done like 6 cranks.
I'll go.
We don't want to go too hard. Jesse's making me nervous over there.
Don't get frustrated, Floyd.
Oh, you have to hand tighten it up.
Break train!
You are weak.
Teamwork makes a fucking dream.
Team effort.
Toy like a toiger.
Tiger.
So is this one?
Get on it. Get on it. Put your back in it.
Go this.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I reckon she's pretty tight.
Mate, you can't get it.
I reckon it's pretty tight.
Oh, let's flex for the camera and not a movement.
Don't fool.
Sword in the stone, dickhead. Get out of my way. This is my job.
Looks like you finished it off nicely. Good luck trying to tighten it anymore, mate. Yeah.
Go get the boss a beer, would ya?
Go get a box of beer.
Yeah, get the boys a couple of beers. Just over gin and tonic, mate.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Get the fucking Jack and Coke, hold Jack.
Hold the jack.
Yeah, Jack and Coke, hold Jack.
I think it's shit. Where's the colour?
Don't know one, that's the guess one, mate. Shots down that way.
I'll grab a beer for it if you want to drink it.
I love a beer.
Yeah, we're just thinking about getting Chad Scott wrist tattooed under here.
Match the smooth river.
Up, you know, might get the Chad Scott wrist, don't know. Go get the channel a bit more. 100 likes might get Chad Scott wrist tattooed under my eye.
Oh, that's a big call.
Yeah, that's a big call, 100 likes, Chad Scott wrist, you know? Want to see it?
Come on, people.
Right there. Yeah, well, what's next one?
Dangerous words.
Do you want it now?
My God.
Brewster, brother.
Oh, yeah, why not? Thanks, mate. Alright, it's the next day. Doing some more on the S14. Last night the boys came in at a very good time. Come in clutch to help us get this new diff in here. Well, it's not really new, but we got the old 3.7 in there. See how that goes. It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be real quick. Got everything bolted up now. The axles, the drive shaft. If you're wondering, this car runs the R32 GDR box with a dodgy block off for where the transfer was. I bought it like this. It was cheap. Came with the drive shaft. Formula drift on. Finals are up soon. Final battle. Asbo and Vaughan. That'll be interesting. But yeah, I put a bit of protection on this hydro line because it was rubbing on the body of the car. Sort of got that away from the drive shaft a little bit more. Chuck some fluid in here, 85 W140, some nice and thick business. I've got the rear section of the exhaust off, and I think while the car's in the air, I'll go ahead, chop this cannon off, and then straight pipe the bitch. Get that straight pipe sound. It's still gonna have a hot dog, so it won't be full straight pipe, but I think it will be close enough. Alright, so I got a bit of straight pipe tacked on there to the rest of the exhaust, and then cut the hangers off the old one, tack them on. Just got the old trusty MIG out just to tack everything in place, then I'll pull it off and TIG it up and try grind the MIG welds back a little bit so you don't really see them. Still got to cut this to length at the end here. I'm not sure I mentioned it yet, but the plan was to get blasties, but it's just looking like it's going to be too hard to do a merger and stuff. And like Matt said, he could make me some for $200, so I was like, so I was like, oh, I'll just do a straight pipe for now, just one pipe. But I was like, nah, might just do some fake blasties. So the plan is that will go there. And then we'll weld that on there, once I cut that hanger a bit shorter, weld that on there, and then from when the car's on the ground, you won't know any different. So it's going to look like that, but it'll look like it's got blasties. Alrighty, so in the time lapse you guys just watched, you would see me finishing up the fake blasties, or the straight pipe. Came up really sick. Pretty stoked with how they look. Crispy. I cut them reasonably short because I don't want to be smacking them on walls and then destroying my turbo or something, but yeah, come up good. And it sounds absolutely mental. It sounds exactly how I wanted it to sound. That it is incredibly loud and raspy. It's just like that straight pipe SR sound. You're gonna have to wait till I take it for a spin very shortly to hear it though, because I can't be bothered starting it up right now. But yeah, it sounds awesome. I absolutely love it. At the moment, I got the dash out of the car, so I've been wiring up the accessories. It's a bit of a mess right now. I still got to do a whole lot of looming up, but I've got everything mocked up and tested, so I had to wire my tail lights, my brake lights, my hazard lights, my headlights and hazard lights up front, my wipers, and then my water sprays as well. This little water pump here pumps that water down the front and onto the radiator to cool the car down really quickly. It works absolutely amazing and lets you go lap after lap. Alright, so I got all the wiring done. Finally, the car is officially wired on its own custom harness. Apart from like the cables in the boot of the factory, and then it splices into my harness at the front, but don't worry about that. We might change that later, but yeah, dash is all back in, stoked. Looking like a car again. I forgot I don't have a shift knob, so I just stole the cut down one off the S14 that was originally on this when I first bought the car, and I chopped it down to fit the S14 because the S15 had a dildo on it. So now I got this chopped down little knob there, but it will get us by. Now I'm just gonna put some coolant in our fresh Mishimoto radiator, fill that up. Can't bleed it just yet because it's a tad early here, and I don't think the neighbours will appreciate that. So I'm gonna fill it up with coolant. So I'll take it for a spin the Savo just to make sure the diff is gonna survive. I'll give it a little clutch kick, make sure she's sweet. Probably shouldn't have left the test drive till one day out till leaving, because if something's not right, it's going to be a long night to fix it, but cross your fingers. Alrighty, just got back from mounting a heap of tyres up. One step closer to doing skids. Got these white bad boys ready to go back on the car, some fresh treads. Just got some cheap tyres Matt and Anthony hooked us up with. See how they go. Some more tyres. Got me crispy new wheels. Whoa. Saucy. Some more drift burners for the rig. Plenty of tyres. Probably not going to take them all. Definitely won't use them all. Just on the skid pan, because that will be expensive. But we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to get these wheels back on the car, drop it, and then heat it up and bleed the coolant in it, and then I can probably take it up the street for a little test and then come back and do the service on the oil and filter. She sounds mental. Oh, she's angry. Alright, she's warm. We're going to go for a little rip. Knackers is going to film for us.
What now, Naggers?
That sucks. I really wanted to run 3.7 dick as well. I don't want to put 4.3s in this. I reckon I know what I did. I reckon I did up the bloody nut on the pinion tight enough. And it's just back straight out. And now the pinion gear's hitting the ring gear or whatever they're called. Alrighty, so got the car in the air, and as I suspected, dickhead me didn't tighten that nut tight enough, and it's just back straight out, and she's bouncing around in there. I'm probably going to just be a dodgy prick for a minute, pull the drive shaft off, tighten the shit out of that nut, and then see what it looks like and feels like. See if I think I can get away with it, or if I need to put the other diff in. Right, so I ended up just tightening the shit out of this nut here, like hanging off it with the jack pole as an extension, and we're good again. There's no play. As I say that, I feel play, but that's in the uni or something. But yeah, she's good again. But while we're under here, kind of noticed that, like, I knew the axles weren't great, but this one has a lot of up and down play. It doesn't sound too healthy. So I've got spare axles, so I'm going to try change that. Just going to pull this bolt-on spacer off. Hopefully be able to just whip that nut off without taking the brakes off, because it's got the dual calipers and they're an absolute bitch. So we're going to try and place that axle. Alright, got the old axle out, pulled it apart to have a bit of a look. It's pretty interesting how they work. They're just like 3 ball bearings. I thought there'd be a spline, so it probably had a little bit more in it, but with the amount of play it had, it was only a matter of time. Super easy to get out. There was just like one split pin there and a big nut, and then obviously the 6 bolts on your diff. It comes right out. Running the little axle spacer because I got the dual caliper bracket in there. So I get this new one back in, a little bit of grease on the spline, and then I'll have to go down the street again, see if this diff's gonna hold up. Alright, here we go, 3rd time's a charm. We started warming it up before, but didn't fill the diff up anymore, so we just got some fluid in the diff. Tightened pinion gear. We got new axle in there. Cross your fingers, the diff works this time. We didn't destroy it that time last time. There it is. What is that noise? It's probably diff. Probably nothing. Your boogie's alright? Fucking hell, man. Fuck me, that is scary fast, man. That is fucking weird. I'm gonna test the diff. What do you reckon, Johnny? Wait, give us a review, mate.
It's fucking rocket shit. It's so fucked up. I missed the drifts, I can't wait for Keep It Reading it.
Keep it reading, November 6th. Alrighty, so take 2 of the test drive went good. Car feels good, I'm feeling good. I'm keen now. Yeah, it's hauling ass. So, got it on the trailer, ready for an alignment tomorrow. All loaded up. So yeah, go get an alignment early in the morning, first thing, get home, load the ute full of all the gear, and then start trekking up to Winton. Just over 3-hour drive, so should be good. Got some jerry holders I need to actually weld onto the trailer as well, bit of trailer mods. Yeah, keen, absolutely keen. I reckon the car's gonna be running mint, cross our fingers. Hopefully she loves this new power and stays reliable. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Thanks for watching. Smack the like button if you enjoyed it, and stay tuned because obviously the next video is gonna be us smashing off tyres. It's gonna be absolutely epic weekend. So keen, it's been so long. I haven't drifted since March. It's the longest I've gone without drifting since I started drifting. And of course we've got the whole new setup on the S14, which I'm so stoked to try out. Unfortunately it's not going to be a really big track, so not really going to get to put all the power to use, and I'm not sure there's going to be too many other cars in the same power category, so I might have to air the tyres up or turn the boost down. Probably won't be turning the boost down, that's for sure, but see how we go. Get some doors. It's going to be some doors. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.